Mini-series Own Your CV, brought to you by the UCT Career Service. Episode 3 Activities and Work Experience. In this episode, we are going to look at activities that are not part of the academic program, including high school activities and work experience. It is important to showcase activities you have been involved in outside your academics. These would be all activities not included under work experience. Choosing appropriate and eye-catching headings is important, but don't be limited by headings that don't fit what you have done. Some examples of headings you could use are awards, achievements, leadership, roles of responsibility, community or voluntary work, cultural activities, and sport. What about high school activities? High school activities are important to reflect in your first few years at university, but after that, concentrate on activities while at university. If it was too long ago, exclude high school activities, as it could highlight a lack of university activities. Focus on what you have. Don't draw attention to what you don't have. For example, a heading called awards would be pointless if you didn't have any. What university activities should you include? You can show any involvement you've had in faculties, residences, campus societies, or sports clubs, as well as your off-campus involvement in communities and religious organizations. The important thing is to group similar activities together, but if you only have one activity for a heading, perhaps join it with another, for example, sports and cultural activities. Examples of awards you can list are Dean's Merit List, class medals, academic colors, scholarships and bursaries, the Golden Keys Society, and furthermore. If it is unclear, explain these awards, always starting with the most recent first. Examples of leadership positions could be House Committee Member, SRC Member, Class Representative, Executive Committee Member, Mentor, Volunteer Tutor, Church Youth Leader, or your own non-profit organization. Here are some examples of community work. Avoid repetition. For example, if you mentioned you were an orientation leader under the work experience section, do not mention it under this section. If the activity is obscure or not self-explanatory, you will need to explain your role and what the organization is about. For example, being the head of the Sax Appeal Committee might be obvious to many at your university, but not familiar to people outside. Reverse chronological order also applies here, and keep all your dates on the same side. How do you list your work experience on your CV? Here, you highlight your paid or unpaid work experience, including working for family or on your own business. In this section, you can include weekend jobs, part-time work, internships, or vacation work. Do not forget to start with the most recent work experience, with the dates on one side. Your work experience does not have to be directly related to the opportunity you are applying for. What is most important is what you did and what skills you gained, or what skills were enhanced from that experience. You do not have to list the address of the place you worked in or the reasons for leaving the job. You do not have to only list jobs you have referees for, as all of your work experiences count. However, what you must list is the duration of your work experience, the name of the organization, and your job title. If it is not obvious what the organization or job entails, it would be helpful to give that information in a short bullet point. You can also bullet point particular achievements and activities, but don't list responsibilities in every job, particularly if they are obvious. If you have a lot of work experience, it can be helpful to group the types of work together under subheadings. For example, engineering vacation work under one heading, and customer-related work if you have done a lot of waitressing. Thank you for tuning in to mini-series, Own Your CV, brought to you by the UCT Career Service. Be sure to tune into episode 4, where we'll focus on the skills section of your CV.